What's up, all you hooligans? Welcome back to the Hooligan Hangout, your mother's favorite place to be. In another special episode of Chatting with the Hooligans for our Hooligan Halloween month of spooks and scares. Today we're going to be talking about each of our favorite scary movies or franchises or whatever, and how we got into horror, or if we're even into horror at all. So, yeah. Where do we want to start out, boys? Which one first?
Host goes first. That's how it rolls.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
Meeny, miny, mo.
Favorite horror movie?
Favorite horror movie.
Go.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So for me, I think horror. I fell in love with horror at an early age, but I think when I was little, I think it was. I don't know how to explain it. I think it's the scares. Like it kind of like gives you not like adrenaline, but like it's just it
gets your blood pumping.
Yeah, it feels so
really hard.
It feels so much. It feels so much different watching a horror movie than any other movie. Because you can start getting anxious and nervous for you're really engaged with it if you really want to be. And so go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say you said it's different than any other movie, and that's especially when you're a kid, because you're not used to being like scared.
Yeah. Now
and like stuff like that, but
I think because of that and because I love them, now I don't get scared by horror movies.
Okay, so before we came on, that's exactly what I was gonna say pretty much. Like as a kid, I feel like horror movies are better when you're a kid because you get more scared and everything. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking while we were watching the movie for this week, I was like, I'm not closing my eyes, because I used to close my eyes every time I would watch a horror movie, and I thought a scary part would come up, and that would be like exciting because like I have to close my eyes. That was exciting for me. And then I was watching this, and I'm like, this is still a scary movie, but I'm not closing my eyes anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it still doesn't take it away. Like I still love them just as much.
Yeah, I think it's funny because
I love horror.
When you're little, you close your eyes and you just hear this like loud scream or something. And
yeah.
But one of my favorite, I'm an oldie when it comes to horror. I love the old horror movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Michael Myers. I never got into Chucky though. That's the one I didn't get into really. I seen that first one, but that's about it. It just seemed kind of corny. Scream.
Oh, and you're talking about corny, and then you want to throw out Scream.
Scream's a funny, scary movie. It's not really scary. It's just funny to me.
What about Scary Movie?
I like scary movies. Scary movies funny. Scary movies.
I love them. Yeah.
But like Scream. It's like Scream 2 was one of the only good sequels out of any horror franchise, because Scream 2 made fun of sequels, like fourth walled like it all throughout the movie, which I thought was so funny and clever.
Yeah.
And even like Scream, they made rules about like killers and stuff. Like rule 1, don't be alone having sex or something.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
That guy always dies first.
Yeah, that's a trope.
The guy wearing red always dies first.
Anthony. Yeah, and
yep. I'm okay with that.
It just sucks because nowadays I don't think horror movies are as good as they were back when, those old franchises.
Yeah, they're not as good for the time as they were back then.
There's a lot of good like thrillers, but like pure horror, it's not good. I think the closest we got was like Jordan Peele, like Get Out and Us. And Get Out was a thriller. It wasn't super like horror, but it's just like the concepts are scary that he brings.
Yeah.
Which I find really interesting. But the one franchise that I cringe when I watch is because when I was little, my dad showed me them, and I always had to cover my eyes because it was just so bad. Was Saw, the Saw franchise?
Dude, those are those are pretty
it's torture
scary.
Porn, dude. Even to this day, if I watch it, dude, I'll watch some of the kills, but a lot of the ones that are like really bad, I have to close my eyes. They're just like awful. They're like so gruesome.
The first time I had ever seen a scene in Saw was she was in a chair, and then her hair was like in a device that was like rolling.
Yeah,
and it was like pulling back her scalp.
Yeah,
that was the first scene I ever saw and saw. Tongue twister.
What's your favorite scary movie then?
Mine or Edward's?
Yours, Anthony.
So
you're talking.
I don't know. If y'all know me very well, then y'all know that I can't pick favorites when it comes to a lot of things.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I can't. So I have a few that I really like that stood out. I'm not gonna mention like classics like Poltergeist and
Ooh, that's a good one.
the Conjuring and Annabelle and all those,
Mhm.
just because I those are all good to me. So I can't pick a favorite out of those. But some of the ones I really like are Get Out and what's the other one? I really okay. This one y'all aren't gonna agree with, but I love the Gallows. I love the Gallows. It's such a good
I don't
movie.
think I've seen that one. Which one's that
Dude.
one?
I haven't.
They're like, it's one of those where the whole movie's off the perspective of a camera.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I hate movies
break-
like that.
I love movies
I
like that.
love movies like that.
But they, dang, that's surprising, Edward. They break into a school
Okay.
because they didn't want to do the play the next day. They were in a play and they didn't want to do it, so they broke in and like destroyed the set. But like years before, when they did the play, it was about a guy that was getting hung, but then the boards broke and the kid like actually got hung.
Oh.
So they break in and it was basically just that guy haunting them. It was crazy. And
That was
okay,
not what I expected, honestly.
and there's like no happy ending. Everyone dies. Like
Thanks
that's
for
the end.
spoiling it.
Oh wow.
How old is that
If you
movie?
haven't seen it by now, it's not that old.
Now that you
maybe
said it, I
2016?
might have seen it. It sounds very
2017?
familiar, but I'm not sure if I.
Dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then I love Brightburn. I love Brightburn.
Yeah, that was a good
That's a good-
recent one.
that's a
That's a
good
good
one.
recent one.
That's a good one.
I enjoyed
And
the
then-
different concept they did. They pulled like the boys, but they made it
Yeah.
crazy.
And then
Origin.
Get Out. Get Out was another really good one I liked.
Yeah, Jordan Peele's about to make Candyman though, so
Yeah.
I want to see that. I'm trying to think.
But then of course like all the original, like all the Annabelle. There's two, right? There's only two of them.
I thought there was 3.
Three. I
Conjuring
don't know.
series. There's
And then The
like
Conjuring.
12.
Yeah, it's a lot. I've only seen Conjuring 1 and 2. I didn't
Me
really care
too.
to see Annabelle, to be honest with you.
Because like all those
Annabelle
are in
wasn't
the
that
same
scary.
universe, and there's a butt ton of them.
They made
Yeah, our universe.
they made the Nun. I know that
Really?
one.
I haven't seen The Nun. I want to.
I haven't either. I heard it was bad. I know they
Really?
did Conjuring 1 and 2. They did the Nun. They did Annabelle. I feel like
Uh-huh.
they did something else, but I don't
They
remember.
did La Llorona too in there.
Oh, that was part of it. I didn't know that was part of it.
I want to see It Comes at Night.
Probably it. I want to see that too.
And then do y'all remember The Visit? That was
that
a
one
really
was
good one.
that one was so freaking stupid.
Dude,
with the grandparents, right?
yeah, that one was good though. I don't know.
It made me laugh more than scream.
I liked it.
Did you see that one, Edward?
No.
The one,
That's
with,
the one with the naked grandma.
and it was with when the
Oh
grandpa
yeah, I did see that one.
the
Yeah,
grandpa
just like
That
crawling
one was
around.
really weird. Yeah,
When the-
that was just weird. It
Yeah.
wasn't even good. It was just weird.
yeah, it was weird.
I liked it though.
It's the one where the grandpa had his like dirty diaper, right? And he like put
Yeah.
it
Oh,
on
what?
his
Yeah,
face.
God.
I
I just
don't
looked
remember
by the
that.
way, in the Conjuring timeline, there's 7 movies. It's The Nun, Annabelle, Creation, Annabelle, The Conjuring, Annabelle Comes Home, La Llorona, and then Conjuring 2.
Yeah, out of all those, The
Right.
Conjuring. Well, I didn't see Annabelle. I can't really say, but Conjuring 2 was the first one in a long time that actually like had me on the edge of my seat. Like that was like scared.
Is it bad that I fell asleep during 90% of those movies?
No, they're kind of slow.
Like, I just find those movies super boring.
Yeah, they're pretty slow to introduce everything in the world, the world building.
You want to know my first like I guess modern horror movie? Because I had always seen the original like Friday the 13th and all those. Like I grew up watching those because my parents loved them, so they always made me watch them.
Ooh,
But
or
they
the
didn't
thing.
they didn't make
The
me.
thing is one of the greatest
Yeah.
in my opinion.
But the first one that I saw in theaters, the very first horror movie,
Mhm.
I remember I was with my mom, and it was It Follows, which is probably the last one you want to see with your mom. Do you remember what that was?
Oh,
Is that the one where they
that,
transmit
spreads
it?
Whenever they like,
Yeah.
whenever they
Yeah.
like each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Basically
Yeah,
an STD, and I saw that with my mom.
in theaters.
Yeah,
I didn't know it went to theaters.
Sorry
I've
for your loss.
I've only ever seen it on Netflix.
but that one's pretty like new. Before that, I hadn't seen any in theaters.
Did y'all even know what it was about, or y'all just?
I didn't. I just knew it was a horror movie.
Your mom did. She's like,
Son, you're
And
coming
this is
with me.
why we don't do this, Anthony. This is why you should
Right?
never do that. Bad.
Dang, that's a good way to put it. I'm gonna do that to my kids. And it was so weird because like nudity in front of your with your parents is already
that
weird.
is the most
But then-
awkward thing in the world.
But then I feel like it was even worse because there was more male nudity in this movie than there was female.
yeah.
It was kind of good though. Like it wasn't terrible.
On to you, Edward. What is your favorite scary movie?
By far, my favorite one is Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh, I
Or
forgot about that one.
It's a good one.
Any one of the. I think the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Either that one or Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah,
I love the
not
Nightmare
bad.
on Elm Street ones.
I love Freddy vs.
The
Jason.
first Halloween was really good too. I'd love that
Ooh.
one. And the new remake of it was also amazing too.
Dude, I can't believe we forgot about Halloween.
I love those movies.
Michael Myers gonna kill us for that one. But
Like the horror genre as a whole has not been very good.
So do
in my
you
eyes.
associate thriller as a part of the horror genre, or a separate?
Yes and no. It depends what movie. Because some movies shoot thrillers more like action movies, and some shoot thrillers like horror movies. The action movie thrillers, get out of here. But the ones that are shot like horror movies,
Those are usually my
I like
favorites.
more of the
yeah,
I like more of the psychological ones more because to me those give
Yeah.
you a better movie and better story. The slasher ones are fun to watch because it's just a bunch of people dying.
Mhm.
But like film wise, like there hasn't like I think the last like groundbreaking one was like the first It, and even then that wasn't even like original.
yeah, it was
there's-
based on a book.
It's been a long time
So-
since I've seen a good original horror movie that like was tolerable.
I would agree with that.
The Shining
There's
was a
not
good one
a lot.
too. The Shining
Oh, The Shining
and Pet
was a good one.
Cemetery. Stephen King.
I haven't seen Pet Cemetery. I really want to see that one too.
I didn't see the new one, but I'm talking about the old one.
Don't
Oh,
watch
okay,
the
I've
new
seen the old one. Don't watch the new one.
I
didn't like it
did
very much.
I did see half of the new one, like the second half of it, because I was just eating and it was on. My parents were watching it, and from what I saw, they really didn't do the book justice. Like they changed so
Really?
much stuff, and it was just so different. It was just kind of dumb
Yeah, it was
from what I
weird.
saw. The second half.
So, what do you feel like? Have you seen what's it called? It's on Netflix. It's Hush. Have you seen Hush?
Oh, I did with the death.
I think-
person.
Yeah, it's not the best movie, but I think it's a good example of kind of mix between a horror and a thriller.
Is that
like-
the one where like
Minus the fact that it's only
uh,
in one location, but
It was
that
a
the one
small
where they're
budget
like
movie.
that lady's in the apartment and like she can't hear but like her neighbors or stuff.
Yeah, she can't hear.
no, she wasn't in the. She's like living alone in a house, like in the woods, and she's deaf because she's a writer.
Well, I'm definitely not
So that's why she-
thinking of the same movie then.
I think the worst
Yeah,
ones
I
are
hadn't
like.
seen a good original horror movie up until I saw the one that we're about to film, and that one's gonna be definitely blow everyone out the water.
Yeah. He doesn't even know that. He hasn't watched it yet.
Haven't even
But-
filmed it yet.
I've only watched.
I haven't even made the
a little-
monster yet.
7 minutes under half of it. That's how far I've got.
Huh?
You haven't made the monster yet? Oh, we're talking about two different things.
I'm talking about the horror movie we're making. That's what I
Yeah,
said.
we're making. That
Yeah,
one's
I
gonna
know.
be good. That one's gonna be great. Okay. I thought you were talking about the one we were watching.
Y'all better watch it in a few weeks, if you dare. What you were saying earlier, Edward, I like the psychological thrillers because they, obviously, they really make you think. Even after the movie ends, like you're still thinking about it for a while.
Yeah.
You're really engaged with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like movies with like where their only reason they're scary is because of like a jump scares. Like shoot
Nah.
me, but I didn't like any of the
I
Conjuring movies
hate
because
scare movies. Well, I don't hate
I
them.
didn't really like much of the Conjuring series because like 90% of them are just boring stories with a few jump scares every now and then.
No,
It
that's
just
understandable.
Doesn't
Uh,
do it for me.
Jump scares nowadays, that's a cheap movie horror trope. Like if you have to rely on jump scares to make your movie scary, it's not a good movie. Good horror movie. And I can agree about The Conjuring 2, but I really liked the story of Conjuring 1. But Conjuring 2 was really slow. It was a lot slower than the first one. And it really, like, the reasoning behind the story was just like why?
The Conjuring and Annabelle are the only two movies I like out of that franchise, I think.
I haven't seen Annabelle, so.
I loved Annabelle.
That was a really good movie. I like that one.
I love the story of it.
The story of it?
And that it's based off of real life.
Yeah, but other than that, like, I can't just, like, watch horror movies on my own because I just don't like them like that. Like, I'll watch them if y'all are like, hey, let's go to the theater and watch blah, blah. I'm like, cool, I'm down. Like, I don't hate them, but I just have no incentive to watch them because I already, like, I could tell you 90% of the plot in most of these movies.
That's fair.
The cheap ones, yeah. The dumb ones.
I like the ones where if you're watching them alone and then after you finish it, you kind of have to like when you're alone, it kind of scares you, like in your room or something. You know what I mean?
When you're just like you
Maybe
can't
that's
sleep.
Why I also don't like horror.
No, yeah.
That's also why I don't like horror movies because I've never had like issues like that, like ever. Like I've never been like genuinely scared of a movie before. The only one is Chucky, and it wasn't even like directly after. Like I was fine all day and stuff, like and all night, but I just had a bad dream about it one time. And
ruins it for you.
But other than that,
I'll tell you,
like,
after I watch horror movies,
I've never been like super scared of horror movies like that.
I like get scared walking by like an open window or an open door or something.
Like after you watch it,
yeah,
you go see something move and be like, the Invisible Man.
Dude, I want to see one that's just like I want to be scared. I just want to like pee my pants scared, just not be able to sleep at all. That's the movie I want to see.
There's some bad ones out there.
It's just because like I don't know if I just like my brain doesn't work that way, but like I like legitimately will not be scared by a movie like ever. Like it'll like a jump scare will make me jump, but other than that I won't be like actually like, oh my god, I don't want to be here anymore. Like I'll just be like, yeah.
Right.
I think
I want to do that though.
I think the curve when I was scared growing up is I got to that age where I finally realized like this shit's not real. That's why I'm not scared of it.
I think that's why it was better as a kid though, because you were genuinely scared. Well, maybe not Edward, but
I also like
Edward was a tough.
I appreciate the practicality of the original, like the way they made death scenes, like all the practical effects. Because nowadays, like the scare factor is so low, and the CGI just looks terrible. Like when they're ripping apart someone's leg or something.
This guy, me and Noah will forever bump head about practical versus computer generated effects.
Dude, have you not seen some CGI on some horror movies? It's awful.
Yeah, the low budget ones. The ones that don't budget their CGI, right? The best way to do CGI is to mix practical and CGI. That's the best way to do it. If you just do straight CGI, it's not going to look as good. You have to mix practical and some CGI in there if you want the best results. Like just straight practical, you're limited to it looking like just Play-Doh coming out of their arms. But with like CGI and stuff in there, I don't think you realize how much CGI helps movies too. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, it was 99% practical, but that 1% that was CGI could make the movie.
I'm an old head when it comes to horror movies. I prefer practicality over CGI.
There's gotta be a good blend of both if you want the best effect.
I mean, a good blend of both would be perfect, but if they can't do it CGI right, then don't do it at all.
I'd rather see CGI than practical effects that suck.
You'd rather see bad CGI than good practical effects?
Yeah. I'd rather watch bad CGI than bad practical effects.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that.
Okay.
All right, well, we've rambled on for long enough. We all hate each other now because of each other's tastes in movies. And by hate each other, they definitely hate me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys enjoyed. Just click our description and you'll find a link to our full audio podcast, our Instagram, our newly created Twitter. Just about every way you can get a hold of us. So if you guys enjoyed, say hi to your moms for us, and we'll see you next time.